Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm here to talk to you about how to get property investors to trust you as a newbie property sourcer or somebody that's just new to property in general. I do get a lot of people say to me that they're concerned that, property investors will not want to work with them because they're new to the whole property scene. And, to be honest, I get it. I get the concern. You've never owned a property or managed a property, and so it's just like you feel, why would somebody trust you to be able to, do this thing? But at the end of the day, having your own property or even having sourced a previous property for an investor is not criteria. Like, none of those things are mandatory. All you need to know how to do is be able to identify what a good property deal looks like and be able to package it together for an investor. So on that note, let's get straight into the first thing that you need to do to ensure that you're able to get property investors to trust you. Number one, you need to learn how to package property deals correctly. So that is starting off with the description. You need to be able to highlight the good things about the property and its location. What are the pros of the property and its location? What are the amenities nearby? Are there shops nearby? Shopping centers? Are there good restaurants nearby? Is the station nearby? Like, are things that people are going to want and need close to the property? You want to highlight those. If any sort of refurb or work is going to be required on the property, you want to give cost estimates. So you want to sort of give an average as to how much it's going to cost the investor to do up the property before it's ready for letting, or whether they're going to flip. Like, you want to do those cost estimates for them. If the property is significantly below market value, or even just below market value in general, you want to include that percentage. So if it's 10% BMV, you want to put that down. It's showing that you know your figures. Rental income, which is one of the most important things that you definitely need to include. How much rental income is the property going to be able to gain? You definitely want to put that figure down. As well as that, you want to include the overall sort of like cash flow amount that the property can gain. So that is taking the monthly rental income figure and then deducting from that any management fees if there's going to be management for the property, and of course monthly mortgage payments if they're taking out a mortgage to purchase the property. Now, the final two figures that you want to include in any deal package, the rental yield and also the return on investment percentage. Now, these are two very important figures that every investor is going to want to know, because at the end of the day, this is their money. And in order to actually determine if a deal is a good deal, most times, a lot of investors are basing this on a percentage. The second thing that you want to be doing to ensure that you're able to get investors to trust you is to have an area or cluster of areas that you source in. So you never want to give the impression that you just source like worldwide or UK wide, should I say. Like, no, you want to give the impression or tell people that you source in a specific area. And that is just because when you appear like a specialist, naturally people have more trust in you and just generally believe that, because this person focuses in on a specific area, like, they're not going to miss anything. They're going to know what great deals actually look like in this place because they invest all their time in that area. Whereas if you're out there telling people, I source all over London, all over the Midlands, everywhere, it just doesn't look right. Do you get what I mean? And as well as that, like, how can you really even handle that? Like, it's just too much legwork. The third thing that you want to be doing to ensure that you can get investors to trust you is simply to do some early rapport building. So one thing I always do is that as soon as somebody inquires about my property sourcing service, I straight away book a call. And that's simply because that's the easiest way to connect with somebody. You guys can get on the phone, get to know each other a little bit, get to understand each other's personalities, share a couple jokes. Like, it's just so easy to connect with people over the phone rather than just messaging. And so, yeah, straight away, I would always try and book in a call with my investors to get that rapport building going from the onset. In early rapport building with your investors, you also want to be somebody that listens. So find out what exactly is they need from an investment property. What is their criteria? What are the kind of figures that they're looking for? What rental yield or return on investment figures do they want? Once you find out those things, you want to deliver on them. Of course, you want to be honest from the onset. If you feel like what they're asking for is, out of your reach or something you feel like you can't do, you definitely want to make that clear. But you just want to be somebody that listens and then delivers based on what you hear. The fourth thing that you want to be doing to ensure that you can get property investors to trust you is to not overpromise and not agree to like any crazy or unrealistic numbers. And that's simply because you're probably going to underdeliver. When you agree to like crazy expectations, like maybe someone saying they want 25% to 30% below market value, like naturally, like, you're setting yourself up for failure, because realistically, are those figures even available? So yes, when you set or agree to some of these like unrealistic expectations, like, you're setting yourself up for failure, and it's not going to look good on you if at the end of the day, when you're sending deals, it doesn't meet up to what you said you'd deliver. The fifth thing that you need to do to ensure that you can get investors to trust you is basically be very explicit with your process and ways of working right from the onset. So how do you source? Is it a case whereby you source deals for investors, email across those deals, and then when an investor is ready to snap up that deal, then they pay a holding deposit? Also, how much is your deposit? Is it 50%? Like, what's the percentage? When is the final payment due? Like, all these kind of things you want to be clear from the onset. You also want to get confirmation of proof of funds from the onset. So is it a mortgage purchase, and so do they have a mortgage in principle, or is it a cash purchase, and are they going to be able to evidence that for you? So once you've told your investors about your ways of working, your processes and things like that, then you also want to share with them, links to documents or where they can find any other information that they might need. Essentially, I think that you should have a website or some form of landing page where people can go to get information about your service, and basically where you just have a presence. The next thing that you want to be doing to ensure you can get investors to trust you is to set up your business and brand properly. So I spoke about this in more detail in my previous video about how to find investors, but basically it all starts with professionalism. So you want to have branded and consistent templates across all documents. So things like, your deal templates, your emails, your contracts, your invoices. You just want to have a good consistent brand going. You want to come across as a professional and a legitimate business. Also across your social media and your website, you want to maintain this level of professionalism. You want to look like a business and a brand that people are going to be happy and secure with working with. And when it comes to communicating with your clients, of course, professionalism. But when I say professional, it doesn't mean you have to be stiff and uptight. No, laugh, have jokes with your clients, be friendly with them. But yeah, just maintain a certain standard really when communicating. So when you're writing your emails, you know what a good email looks like. So yeah, those kind of things. The next thing that you want to be doing to ensure you can get investors to trust you is just to come across confidently. I know you may feel like a bit of an amateur in the beginning, especially if you don't have experience with property, you've not owned your own property, you've not managed any properties. But as I said earlier in the video, that's not criteria for being a property sourcer. Only criteria is knowing how to find a good deal, knowing what it looks like, and knowing how to package it. So saying that as a newbie, what you want to make sure that you do is have all the previous points that I've spoken about earlier covered. And once you have all of those things in place, then next is just basically about speaking confidently about the services you offer, what you can do, and then deliver based on that. Now that we're speaking about confidence with investors, one thing I've actually forgotten is the area of compliance. So yeah, let's talk a bit about compliance. Compliance is definitely going to be a big thing that's going to boost your confidence in this business. So when it comes to being a compliant property sourcer, you want to make sure that you've got your company set up. You want to make sure that you're part of a redress scheme. So I'm part of the PRS redress scheme. You want to make sure that you've got your insurance in place. You're registered for anti-money laundering and also registered with the ICO. Now, last but not least, the final thing that you want to make sure that you do to ensure you can get investors to trust you is just keep maintaining the relationship. So it's good that you've had a great start with your investors, but now it's about, maintaining that relationship. Continue to send them good deals that meet their spec, and always keep in touch with your investors, regardless of what stage they're at, whether it's that, you're trying to secure a deal for them, whether it's, they've paid your deposit and, the deal's going through, whether it's the deal's even completed and they're no longer working actively with you. Keep in touch with them, message them from time to time, send them a call, send them an email, just to make sure that you're always at the forefront of their mind. And the thing about serious full-time property investors is the fact that they do quite a number of deals in a year, and so you kind of want to be their source of preference, and so you want them to be able to come to you each time they're on the lookout for a property. So yeah, in summary, continue to nurture these relationships, continue to send them good deals as and when you come across them, continue to keep up the communication. And I feel once you have all of these things that I've spoken about in this video in place and you continue to maintain them on a consistent basis, then you're not going to have any issues with investors not trusting you. That's not going to be an issue for you. So yeah, I hope you find this video useful. Please do give it a thumbs up if you have done. Please do let me know down in the comments which of these you'll be taking on board or you hadn't considered before, and please do let me know if you have any other videos that you'd like me to create. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.